Harley and his brother Charlie, tough cowboys through and through, loved life in Carbon County, where neighbors find all they knew. Now, Harley was a buckaroo. He was the he-wolf of that range. He lived on broncs and campfire beans, and he never cared to change. He drove an old Dodge 4x4, plastered with mud and hay and grime. It actually weren't all that old, you see, but it looked well past its prime. Brother Charlie was a cattleman. That business was hard to beat. He drove the same model Dodge 4x4, but his was washed up clean and neat. Now Harley was a rounder, never tied the knot. Brother Charlie was a family man, ranch house on curried lot. And they both loved to sit and visit a who got rain and where. So naturally, a favorite time was the Carbon County Fair. Why, Harley often said his favorite ride was the county fair parade, waving to folks on either side who were watching from the shade. Brother Charlie also loved that day, proudly mounted on fine horse. Harley's tack was worn and scratched. Charlie's saddle shined, of course. Now, well into their 80s, weathered face and hair of snow, the creases of their leathery skin a map of life did show. Harley says to Charlie, "Of this I do not jest. County fair won't roll around before they put me down to rest. But I am quite satisfied, a good run I have made. But I'd dearly love to have ridden in one more county fair parade." "Well, Harley," says old Charlie, "I know you're sort of sick, but I'll help you once more to ride that parade street made of brick." But fate had its own way. A badger hole and a colt did pair, and Harley over Jordan Road 3 days before the fair. Now Harley often said he wanted a simple coffin made of pine, and no hearse to drag him to his plot. His Dodge would do just fine. Well, his nephews washed up his old truck, and when they was through, washed and waxed, the old Dodge shined like pert near new. But those undertakers had a chore. When they found old Harley dead, his knees was drawed up to his chest. He had one hand above his head. Well, they used a length of leather of fairly sturdy weight to get his arm down to his side, get him laid out straight. When they was done, he looked quite natural, sort of like he dozed. But they had to leave those nickels on because his eyes would not stay closed. It was a simple graveside service at the boneyard on the hill, 10 a.m. on fair day. The air was warm and still, but now Charlie's wife insisted that fresh flowers would be best to put on poor old Harley's grave as they laid him down to rest. And she was on the peck now, so out the door Charlie flew at a long trot to the florist to see what he could do. Said he'd meet him at the graveside. With no more time to play, he hurried to the cleanest Dodge, jumped in and roared away. Now don't get ahead of me. What Charlie didn't notice, he was focused with a frown as he was taking Brother Harley for a fast ride into town. The railroad tracks at First Street are rough. Charlie hit 'em hard. That coffin bucked and sunfished, was bounced around and jarred, and that leather loosed on Harley, and he sat up when it did. And he knocked the top part off in that wooden coffin lid. The old Harley sat right up straight. His arm shot up from his side. Those nickels shot off into space, and his eyes, they opened wide. Charlie, still in a hurry, things weren't going as he planned, turned the corner onto Main Street, right behind the high school band. Now the band led the marshals of the fair parade that year, and now Charlie, with old Harley, followed closely at their rear. Some say they made the best parade marshals they ever could recall. Harley, Charlie and that old Dodge, scrubbed and shining, one and all. And though no horseshoes clacked the bricks of which Main Street was paved, they gently rocked that old Dodge, and Harley proudly waved. The whole county was there watching. Yes, sir, folks was everywhere. Some smiled, some waved, some just stood to stare. One old gal fainted dead away at the impression that they made when Harley rode his last time in the county fair parade. Harley's last parade. Thank you.